Has anyone ever found out something about themselves that made you question everything? I thought my coworkers were being supportive during my rough patch. Turns out they had a betting pool on when I'd completely lose it. Last year was brutal. Dad's cancer diagnosis, messy breakup, anxiety through the roof. I was barely keeping it together, but I thought my office family had my back. Boy, was I wrong. It started with Melissa from HR checking on me constantly. "How are you holding up, sweetie?" she'd ask, tilting her head with this concerned expression. At first, I was grateful. Someone actually cared. But then the questions got weird. "Are you seeing a therapist yet? Have you considered medication? How's your sleep?" Not casual concern, detailed interrogation disguised as caring. Other people started doing it too. Kevin would hover near my desk when I got emotional phone calls from the hospital. Sandra would appear whenever I looked stressed, asking if I needed to talk it out. I thought they were being incredibly supportive colleagues. I felt lucky to work somewhere with such empathy. The paranoia started creeping in around month 3. People would stop talking when I entered the break room. Not obviously, but conversations would shift. Someone would change the subject too quickly or glance at me with this calculating look. I told myself I was being crazy. Anxiety makes you paranoid, right? These people were my friends. Then I started noticing the watching. When I teared up reading a particularly harsh email from my ex, I caught 3 people exchanging looks. When I had to leave early for Dad's chemo appointment, Sandra made this note in her planner while staring at me. I was losing my mind. Had to be. Normal workplaces don't feel like surveillance operations. The discovery happened on a Tuesday. I was staying late to catch up on projects I'd fallen behind on. The office was empty except for cleaning staff. I needed to use the shared computer in the conference room to access some files. The screen was still logged in. Excel spreadsheet open. Office breakdown betting pool. Q4 update. My name was right there at the top. Categories included: cries at desk, calls in sick 3+ days straight, quits without notice, public meltdown in meeting, and hospitalization. Melissa had bet I'd crack by Christmas. Kevin said Valentine's Day. Sandra was optimistic. She gave me until March. There were detailed notes. Subject seemed close to breaking point after family call on November 15th. Increased irritability noted during budget meeting. Medication question yielded defensive response. Possible escalation indicator. They'd been tracking my mental health like a science experiment. Every kind gesture, every concerned question, every moment of supposed support. All data points for their sick game. The pot was up to $340. I sat there staring at that screen for 20 minutes. My hands were shaking, but not from anxiety this time. From rage. These people had weaponized my trauma, turned my worst year into entertainment. I took screenshots, forwarded them to myself, deleted the browser history. The next morning, I walked into the office like nothing happened. "Morning, sweetie," Melissa chirped. "How are we feeling today?" "Great, actually," I said. "Never been better." I watched her face fall slightly. She made a note. During lunch, I forwarded the screenshots to our company's ethics hotline. Then I sent them to everyone in the office, including our manager. Subject line: regarding recent team building activities. The afternoon was spectacular. Watching them all scramble, trying to explain why they'd turned a colleague's mental health crisis into a gambling opportunity. Melissa tried to play victim. "It was just harmless fun. We were actually rooting for you to succeed." Kevin claimed it was stress relief and team bonding. Sandra said I was being too sensitive and taking it the wrong way. Our manager called an emergency meeting. 3 people got written up. Melissa got transferred to a different department. I didn't even break down. Didn't cry. Didn't have the meltdown they'd all been waiting for. I was done being their entertainment. Done believing their fake concern. Done letting anxiety make me grateful for scraps of human decency. They wanted a breakdown? I gave them something better. I gave them consequences. 6 months later, I transferred to a different company. Better pay, actual supportive colleagues, 0 betting pools on my mental state. My dad's in remission. My anxiety's manageable. I learned to trust my instincts about people's motivations. Most importantly, I learned that real support doesn't come with hidden agendas or spreadsheet tracking. Some lessons cost you friends. This one cost me toxic colleagues I mistook for family. Best trade I ever made.